Yo, howdy doodly. That's kind of the worstest way to actually say hi. Not really a Ned Flanders, but more a nerd to a certain extent. Yes, this is the formula reporting to you yet again about the statistics or probabilities of things that people just don't really think about that might align up one day. And today, ironically, is that day. Okay, so heads up, you got a whole lot of people out there that are Amazoning. You have a whole lot of them who are doing the thing and apparently living the life. I'm not discrediting them, but there are certain validations that break them down as individuals and then truly reveal what they're like. So I rate, first of all, I'll say, all the women who are Amazon FBA members. Congratulations, you have found your freedom. Even before that, you had been established by the Iron Lady in the British country. Amazing. One thing I find remarkably coincidental is how is it that when you say you've got and you're making and you're turning over and you have revenue of, that you never considered your mother, you haven't considered your grandmother. Worst off, you're waiting for the leeway of, well, I haven't put that audio book out there because no one's ever thought to ask for it. You know, the cliches and catch-22s. Just be honest. You're caught with your pants down. Let me tell you a little pattern that I noticed from not being an FBA member. And this is no disrespect to them, nor is it calling them out, but it's a self-realization. If you dance at home, you can dance anywhere else. And if you look at your shadow at the same time as you're dancing, you actually feel like there's someone dancing with you. So it encourages you to do more. And that's what I'm referring to by the nature of dancing at home. Sorry, as in doing more from home. Okay, so I myself have moved out of my mother's house at the age of 17. I got a job in a video game store at the age of 17, though they were selling restriction against age video games. So that means that their employers would have to be of that criteria as well. But God blesses me. So I learned about the idea of the realization of the world. I've had 7 constituents within the basis of 11 years. That means I've moved 7 times. And all in all, within the amount of money that I've made, I've always been like, I've got a channel at home. And it's never enough. And it was never enough. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll still continue to do it, but it's always going to be at that lower level. And then I was like, hold on. How is it these Amazon FBA members are talking about cars, talking about girls, talking about places they've got, talking about constituencies that they have established, and not one of them, excuse me, God pardon my emphasis, not one of them lives in their mother's basement or back garden. And you're like, well, why the hell would I want to live in my mother's basement or back garden? I've got all of this money. You see revenue and reinvest in it. That's what revenue is just for. Or profit, should I say. That's what profit is for. It doesn't have a point, except you might tease yourself. It doesn't have a point where it stops. So again, take my foolish advice. When you know your business kicks off, abandon castle. Yes, you've established yourself. Yes, you've moved several times in so many years. But again, establish yourself appropriately. Return back to primary base, as all campants do. All soldiers, should I do. They infiltrate, they compromise, and they negotiate terms of release. So infiltration would be Amazon, me selling a product and me making a profit. Infiltration, that is. Compromise. Whoa, that's self-compromise. I've got to I've made $2,000 and I've got to reinvest at least 1,900, and then maybe satisfy myself on one of my products as a freebie to myself to either destroy or mess around with or reconstruct. And so, bam, when you've comprehended that, you have terms of negotiation, of release of self, which is this. I have to now report back to Amazon and say to them, I'm ready to be a CEO of one of their branches, of one of their storehouses, which is not upon any of you lot's minds. I'm like, the curious thing goes like this. I dance at home when I know I've realized I've made a mill. I don't really spend the mill or tell my mom I've got the mill, but I'll buy her house. Give it back to her so I know that I definitely have a HQ, you lot call it, a headquarters. Then from there, I know, okay, that's secured. I give my mum maybe just like, I don't know, like £1,000. Just go have a lovely holiday. Because while I'm doing that, I can make my bedroom a new room. That be my office. And then I'll take the manual labor, which is the spare time that I have, and I'll try to build something either in the basement or in the back garden. Because that's my mind saying, although I'm liberated from working, I still want to keep myself active. So I could imagine you buy the concrete, you buy the bricks, you buy the insulation, you buy the wood, and you buy the roof tiles and the tarmac layer, that usually goes underneath, to secure whatnot. And wow, you've got your room. You're not in your mother's way or anything. You've got your room. So your business is upstairs. Your mother realizes what you've done. You brought the house and you're given £1,000 to walk away. Bam. You haven't lost anything. You've established yourself at home. So now you can dance anywhere else. Bam. You return back to Amazon and you keep pushing. And you keep pushing until you can afford to buy the department that is holding your stock. The storehouse which is holding your stock. Because you don't want to go ahead and buy it for the sake of, I have that, I can do whatever I want with it. You want to get re-involved. You want to establish yourself. Amazon have dragged you out of the pits. Yeah? They have given you a liability, which is use your own money and come forward. If you're an elite member, you'll understand what that means. You'll be like, okay, bam. Oh yeah, made £1,000 today, bam, reinvest it. Not taking a wage or anything. If you're a person that is state benefited, there are legislations and laws that state that from as long as you're not taking a wage from your business, again, you can still obtain your state benefit. My goodness, look it up. No one's ever thought about it. Again, it's called cheap and cheerful. Why? I don't own Amazon. Amazon doesn't owe me anything, but it still went out of its way to make sure I could still make money off of it, still be entertained by it, and then gave me 2 other broadcasts, which is Shopify, and eBay, to then work with there afterwards once I have brought the storehouse with Amazon. And tell me if I'm just a ludicrous idiot, but doesn't it make sense? You've made 1 trillion tons of cash. The logic says, wow, I'm going to go and spend it all. No. I've got to think. Why? Because you see the management that you are the CEO of in that Amazon storehouse. They still need to be paid. They still have the potential of being candidates underneath a guru that is teaching them the same thing. Again, sorry if I sound egotistic, but I think it might be just based from my jealousy. Not jealousy that I can't do the Amazon FBA, Jealousy, like my days, if I didn't fucking, pardon my French, if I didn't realize this at the basis of where I'm at, I don't honestly think that I'd have the integrity that draws the individuals to want to listen to this. But it's a shocking revelation. Those guys who are like, Kel Abrahamson and Taylor Elliott, Taylor Elliott, or so forth, and Jordan and David, and all these individuals, you lot are doing amazing. Do not get me twisted, but I don't think one of you really advertises what need to be advertised is. Crush the coin in your hand and try to get as much out of the minimum for the greater effect. What I'm trying to say there is basically take a pound and know how to spend it. Of course you lot do, apparently, but you've never spoken about your parents or how they're doing. Do you know? You've not spoken about, being at home and building something with them. You haven't spoke about buying your parents' property and showing them the love of what they've born and raised you with. And if this sounds like I'm disciplining you, it is you self-disciplining yourself. Why? You should know these things already, and you do. You just ignored them completely. So God pardon and I forgive you. God pardon and forgive me, because the clarity is still here, still surfaced and came up. And it's not too late in order to turn back and say, hey, Mom, there's something amazing, which, again, you haven't spoken about. I'm not saying you haven't done it. I'm saying you haven't spoken about it. When you don't speak about it, you could be misleading your clients. When you're misleading your clients, you're not really assured for them, which is, hey, part of the cons and the pro-cons. You see. So, I love you guys. Peace be with you. And with that being said, stay tuned for anything else that I might topically come up with. And if you have questions, I happily do not answer them in the comments box, but I allow you to take the incentive, which is leave a comment or a question, and I will respond with a video. Take care and good night. Bye for now.